Hey lore masters, this video is a special shout out to Val, Oz, and Rawrist for their awesome panels that I went to at Con of Thrones. Thanks guys, I loved it, had a great time, and can't wait to Con of Thrones 2018. But let's get back to this breakdown, let's just get into it. Hardhome, a fishing village claimed by the wildling—
What did you just call me?
Oh.
That is our word.
Sorry, the Free Folk. Hardhome was a fishing village claimed by the Free Folk. The battle itself involved the Free Folk, Night's Watch, and naval support of House Baratheon of Dragonstone. The notable commanders, of course, were Lord Commander Jon Snow, Tormund, Carsey, Loboda, Dim Daba, and Woon Woon. And yes, I know I got some of those names wrong. They would be facing off against the White Walkers, which had the Night King, a random White Walker lieutenant, and 2 other White Walkers, along with the White Army. The White Walkers aren't really known for their focus on titles or names, hierarchies, ranks, promotions, holiday. There's obviously much more background to it, but the prelude to the battle effectively begins when Jon Snow and Tormund arrive in an attempt to convince the Free Folk to join their war against the White Walkers. This goes as badly as expected, though some leeway is made. Ultimately, we do have Free Folk boarding the ships for Castle Black, but during this time, the telltale signs of the White Army occur with the storm and mist that starts to pour over the mountain. Loboda realizes what is happening and orders a shutting of the gate. This leaves thousands of Free Folks who are attempting to get in behind the door as it closes. Their screams and begging to be let in can be heard as the terrified troops begin to prepare for the oncoming battle. That is, until the screaming stops. The banging against the door deadens as the cries of those left to the Night King's tender mercies back away from it. Only a few minutes later, those that attempted to get away from the White Army, those that wanted to be saved, had been turned and began an all-out assault on the front gate. As Rawrist had said at the convention, turned from Free Folk into slaves. Realizing that they would need to buy time for people to get away, Jon, Tormund, Loboda, and Carsey rush to the front to fight the White Army. Jon looks up to the mountain and the Night King, with other White Walkers, can be seen looking over the battle. Realizing what needs to be done, Loboda and Jon leave the front line in an attempt to gain the Dragon Glass. The Dragon Glass was one of the few things that was known to be able to kill the White Walkers. They are ultimately unsuccessful though, as a White Walker lieutenant kills Loboda and Jon is thrown out of the Great Hall. During the fight with the White Walker, however, it is discovered that Jon's sword can kill them, knowledge that will be useful later. Back to the front lines, Carsey is fighting off multiple Wights. She ultimately finds herself confronted by a pack of undead children. Falling to her emotions and not realizing that what is in front of her is no longer children, in fact they're bastardizations of someone's child, they consume her without much of a fight. Even with this loss, the defenders are doing relatively well. But that is cut short when the Night King signals for the Wights that were on the cliff with him to jump. Being undead certainly has its advantages as they get right back up and rush what is left of the defense of Hardhome. Jon and the others begin to make their escape, their rear protected by Woon as they board the boats. And then, as they begin to float away, Jon turns around to look at the Night King and watches as those who fought so hard against the White Army, including Carsey, slowly rise from the dead to join him. An army of Free Folk now become slaves. Alright guys, special shout out to Con of Thrones for inspiring this. If you liked it, I'll probably do more Games of Thrones, both lore and breakdowns. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, rate, and comment. And guys, I'm going to see you on the next Lore Reloaded.